Hello and welcome to the Alchemy launch event.
Hello.
We are the Last Inklings, Lee and David, and in a slight change to the schedule, we are now performing this launch event, we're streaming it rather than doing it kind of in the flesh live.
Indeed, thank you very much for joining us. And our first song is The Telling of the Bees from our debut EP, Alchemy.
I want to show to you the secret of the telling of the bees, but you can never tell a soul, not a soul. And all the comings and the goings of the bees, forever knowing what you are, what you are, what we are. To show to you the secret of the telling of the bees, but you can never tell a soul, not a soul. And all the comings and the goings of the bees, forever knowing what you are, what you are, what we are. And the cycles of the soul are demanding to be told to the bees, to the bees, to the bees. Tell of birth and tell of death on the whisper of a breath, when the moon is overhead, overhead. And the queen will give a blessing for a marriage and a wedding if you lay it on the line, on the line. I want to show to you the secrets of the telling of the bees, but you can never tell a soul, not a soul. And all the comings and the goings of the bees, forever knowing what you are, what you are, what we are, what we've always been. And the cycles of the soul are demanding to be told to the bees, to the bees, to the bees. Tell of birth and tell of death, all of whisper, tell of breath, when the moon is overhead, overhead. And the queen will give a blessing for a marriage and a wedding if you put it on the line, on the line. I want to show to you the secrets of the telling of the bees, but you can never tell a soul, not a soul.
The Telling of the Bees.
So that kind of is, it's a throwback to lots of myths and legends from all over the world, but even here in Dorset, about the importance of talking to your beehive and sharing news with them, letting them know what's going on. It's not just big, huge world events, it's births and marriages and things.
So as well as the EP tracks tonight, we've got a few brand new ones as well. So this next one is one of those, and it's rather poignant, I think, for this setting. It's all about performance venues and performance spaces, and how often they've got stories of their own, I think, is the best way of putting it. But
that one seat at the back that never folds down in the auditorium.
if you stay late one night in a lot of these spaces, you might be lucky enough to hear or maybe feel the presence of those who have gone before. And there's a nice story about a pilot light being left on in these empty venues, which is, again, rather rather fitting for these times. This is Phantom Foolery. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm not one to fall so fast, to think and dwell upon the past, and I'm not one to cry for help. The illusion that follows and finds me here. The illusion that follows and finds me here. Now the voice that calls out of the dark, the song that leaves its lasting mark, and here right now I saw, I heard the illusion that follows and finds me here. The illusion that follows and finds me here. Now echoes and shadows will tease my mind, my thoughts and fears are left behind, and here I stand alone as one. The illusion that follows and finds me here. The illusion that follows and finds me here.
Phantom Foolery.
Yes, that's a bit of an ode to these wonderful historic theatres and performance spaces that have ghosts of their own, unless they happen to be following us around specifically. And yeah, thinking about a lot of places like this that are sat empty at the moment, and hoping that we get back to performing a lot more regularly with audiences very, very soon.
So the next song we're going to play is the lead single from our debut EP, Alchemy, and it's called The Alchemist.
Long hours of candlelight fighting back shadows to find the missing piece. An anomaly defined by the shape of the space it should be. Obsession became his constant companion, frustration just 2 steps behind. Uncertainty roamed in the place at the edge of his mind. Alchemy, it's all in my heart. Eternity is here and now. Alchemy. If only my task could be something so simple to turn lesser metals gold. Is the secret in faith or in fire when it comes to a soul? If light is defined by its war with the dark, how long have I been asleep? For how can joy ever be savoured without knowing grief? Alchemy is all in my heart. Eternity is here and now. Alchemy. Alchemy, it's all in my heart. Eternity is here and now. Alchemy, it's all in my heart. Eternity is here and now.
The Alchemist.
It's very much based on some writings from Marcus Aurelius, an old Roman emperor. He was a Stoic philosopher, but really that's a little bit of my own experience of finding my way in the world hidden in that one. The imagery of that moment, that epiphany of the alchemist discovering something really important. Maybe he finally stumbled on the secret to making gold. I can only hope.
Well, you've kept that a secret. I mean, so the next song is another one from the EP. This is one about something my dad suffers from quite a lot. It's a seasonal affective disorder, which is where you get really you get the blues in the winter. It's a song to kind of combat that, and it harkens back to the days of, I guess it's sort of Celtic or
old pagan feasting, waiting for the sun to return.
Yeah, sort of rituals in midwinter and that sort of thing as a celebration and the return of the sun. It's we've paralleled that with a love theme as well, with the return of a loved one. So this is Winter Sun. Too few hours of light, too many clouds above, and the mirror moon is all we have until we meet again. Not half as bright as you, my friend, with light of powder blue. And I'll dream of dawn all winter long until the sun comes round again. Until the sun comes round again. Diamond dust upon the ground keeps everyone inside, and all I can but do is wait until we meet again. The winter solstice calls to us with food and wine and song, so take my arm and dance with me until the sun comes round again. Until the sun comes round again. All hope of your return
fades like ashes in the breeze, and all I can but do is wait until we meet again. And I miss the way your glow used to kiss against my skin. Now whiskey is the best we have to warm our hearts and clear our heads, until the sun comes round again, until we meet again.
That was Winter Sun from our EP Alchemy.
And that brings us to the end of the very first half. We're going to take a quick break. We will be back, and we're going to leave you in the very capable hands of Sebastian and James, who interviewed us a little bit earlier.
See you later.
And that was the Last Inklings with the first part of their performance. I've always wanted to be on Classic FM.
They were splendid.
Oh, they were splendid.
I really enjoyed that.
I loved it.
Well, we have Lee and David here with us.
With us now.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for having us. Sorry, a bit warm just coming off stage.
Thank you.
I guess the most obvious first question, is why are you called the Last Inklings?
Why indeed?
David, you're probably best placed for that one.
Yeah, so really it's the primary reason is because of a writing club. Probably 100 plus years ago now.
Yeah, certainly.
That it was formed, and it had some primary figures like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, Charles Williams. All of these people, amazing creatives, poets, but world builders as well. They used to create all these kind of self-contained mythologies, and that's something we really enjoy trying to evoke in what we're writing as well. So we've borrowed the Inklings term.
Yeah, I guess there's an underlying meaning as well of having sort of the last phase of an idea before it becomes a fully fledged thing, as the last inkling.
Before it bursts into its fully formed self. Yeah.
Now I have a very, very important question. It's very, very important question.
They're all important.
This one, so much. What tunings do you use?
Because one of you plays a very large violin,
Big violin.
and the other plays a very small
Very
guitar.
small, very, very small.
I think yes. So what tunings do they use? What tunings do you use?
Oh, nothing crazy for me, certainly. As a cellist, I stick very much with the classical school of thought, which is I'm in an open C tuning, C, G, D, A from the bottom up, and I don't do any crazy nonsense like scordature or anything like that. I like to be quite safe.
Bass range, really.
Yeah, bass range. But not tuned the same as a bass guitar.
Good distinction to make.
Yes.
The mandolin's quite easy, really. It's exactly the same as a violin, just with a couple of extra strings doubling up.
So all of our intervals are more or less the same. They're just shuffled across a string.
Yeah.
Actually quite close.
Good question, though.
I see. It's fascinating, but I myself was hoping for a little bit more discussion of the folk revival guitar style. I can dream.
What
James.
tunings do they use?
It's mostly an A, I've heard.
In A?
Open A.
A for
But moving swiftly on. Lee and David. Or perhaps David and Lee. I can't quite tell. What are your musical inspirations?
Ooh, I think yours are quite varied, I think.
They are quite varied, yeah. It ranges from sort of freeform jazz all the way through to metal and classical. I think you're more on the Baroque side of things, aren't you?
Oh, yes, gorgeous Baroque music. And oddly, gypsy jazz, I'm really getting into. Quite enjoyed that. My lockdown experience has been learning jazz.
So we try and listen to a range of things, really.
But I do love a bit of singer-songwriting, and guilty pleasure for me, musically, is definitely pop.
Well, anybody in particular?
Oh, I was going down like Lady Gaga route there. And even, I have listened to some Billie Eilish and quite enjoyed myself.
I quite like Lady Gaga too. David, your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Ooh. Normally it's something like ABBA, isn't it? So, yeah.
I say no more. It's fine.
Well, he got out of answering that one, didn't he?
He did indeed. Waterloo, couldn't escape if I wanted to. It looked like a bit of ABBA.
Golly, got to keep a stiff bottom lip for this one, haven't you?
I can't tell which is which. However, we
Hey,
must roll on with the questions.
Stop it, I've got a good one. If you were a fruit, what would your favourite country be?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Let me get this straight.
If you were a fruit, what was your favourite? Like a national fruit of a country or something? And at least I'd be liked. Maybe if I was, I don't know, if I was a banana and I lived in Brazil, people might appreciate me. Does it work that way?
I think I'm just going to answer what my favourite fruit is, which is a blueberry.
If I go one in a cocktail, I'm probably onto a winner.
Well, James,
Yes.
if you were a fruit, what would you be?
If I was a fruit, I would be a passion fruit.
Oh my. Oh.
See, that's how you answer the question.
Absolutely. You forgot what country you should have been.
Oh, yes. I would be from Atlantis. Oh.
Atlantis. It's very moist, I've heard. Now, moving swiftly on. How long, Lee and David, Lee, David, wherever you are again, how long have you been playing together and how did you meet? They're very good. I'm assuming it's a long time, James.
Oh, we've been playing together we worked out something like 7 or 8 years.
Probably about that, yeah. In a previous project, in a trio, we started off playing covers, as most people do.
Yeah.
And then it kind of formed into quite traditional folk, and then evolved from there where we kind of dipped into songwriting our own material and things like that. So, yeah, about 8 years.
Yeah.
And I think we met in Westbourne, in Bournemouth.
We did. We met over a good pint of ale, proper folk background. And then in this guise as a duo, with lockdown and everything that's happened, we probably have been working on this for like over a year now, certainly. If not a year and a half.
Some of the songs are a bit older, but we've been trying to stay productive.
Yes.
Lately, especially writing lots of new material, and yeah, generally trying to keep on top of being creative.
Yes.
Wake up, James.
8
James,
years?
James.
8? That's a long time.
Oh, very exciting, yes.
Golly.
Oh, dear. Apparently they've been together for about 50 decades.
Uh.
Right. Now, gentlemen, very importantly, standard interviewing fare. I think you'll agree, James. If you were stranded on a desert island, what would you take with you and why?
Dessert
Dessert
That's
island.
very specific. Well, assuming they don't have everything, ice cream scoop.
Yeah,
Sounds
that's a
good.
given.
And some background music for my enjoyment, I suppose. I'm just going to imagine that my MP3 player and headphones are like they're just one thing.
I think I'm going to go for vinyl record player, maybe a solar panel. Yeah.
I did neglect charging things as well.
Sorry, you can borrow mine
As long as there's cheesecake on the desert island, I think I'll be fine.
with an ice cream scoop, just
To eat the cheesecake.
of course.
Yeah.
Is there any other way?
I do like a good cheesecake as well.
I love cheesecake.
If you have one more cheesecake, Sebastian,
I'd burst. I'd positively burst. Whoa. I feel like Mr. Creosote.
Somebody could write a book about that, couldn't they?
Oh, what a fine segue. No.
So, I guess we should follow that up with the question, shouldn't we? What is your favourite book?
Mine's easy. It's always been Mort, which is a Terry Pratchett book. It's the first one of the series I read from the Discworld. I did go back and read the rest and get it back in order afterwards, but yeah, I absolutely love, it's all the little footnotes in Terry Pratchett, which I know really divides some people, but he kind of peeled back the veil for me on the fact that there's all these strange things happening under the surface. It was a bit of my Matrix blue pill, red pill as a book.
I'm going to have to read that one.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I haven't come across it yet. I'd have to choose something by Douglas Adams, I think, so I'll just go with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yes.
It's a safe bet for me.
Always bring a towel.
Don't panic!
I am, slightly.
Oh.
Just because I was told not to.
No more than usual, anyway.
Calm yourself.
Okay. I wonder, would you be able to tell us a secret that nobody else knows?
I love secrets.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh. Oh my.
Ooh,
That's a good question,
Yeah.
actually.
that nobody else knows. That's a hard one because I could be making it up.
Well, not a lot of people know about the next project of our album in the works.
No, this is true. We have now developed a very sensible home studio. We've been demoing new songs to try and complement the work that we've done with the EP and see if we can keep pushing that kind of flavour into new places and really throw in some layers and
it's
go
all,
crazy.
All very exciting
Yeah.
with lots of creative experimentation going on. I'm not sure how much we'll make it, but hopefully it's going to be a proper, fully fledged album.
Well, the hidden secret in all of that is that we actually now live together. We have moved in together for the purpose of being creative.
That's not a secret.
We've broken out the bubble, or into a bubble.
Yes.
Oh, how lovely.
How lovely indeed.
So if humans would like to get hold of your music, your EP, how would they get hold of it?
So our EP is available on Bandcamp because you can get a digital download there or the physical EP. And we'll send you a nice little signed message to go along with it.
You can get that through our website as well, which is thelastinklings.co.uk.
Yeah, and if you need help getting there, just find us on Facebook.
Absolutely fabulous.
How wonderful. I may even buy one for myself.
I may listen to it.
Now, if I could collaborate with anyone, alive or dead, I think it would be me. But as musicians,
Preferably-
is there anyone you would like to collaborate with? Don't make the obvious statement, James.
I won't.
Gentlemen.
Ooh,
Dead or alive?
dead or, if it could be dead or alive, I think
Is that a band in itself?
I think it is. Yeah, well,
Not them,
that would
but-
be incredible. I would absolutely love to do something with people like Lucas Drinkwater because I love the way he arranges things.
Alive?
Alive, definitely alive. Moulettes, who wouldn't want to be part of that collective, just
I
even
second
for a
that.
gig?
I'd second that.
I'd enjoy that.
Nobody like Bach or Vivaldi?
Oh, I think they kind
they've
of
had
had it
their
down.
time.
Yeah, they were okay. I love his music, but I'm not sure he'd be a great collaborator.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Now, of course, we have some superpowers of our own.
I have anti-gravity hands.
Ooh, and I just can't stop growing fur. If you were to have a superpower, what would you choose?
Out of any superpower?
Any at all?
Oh, any superpower.
Yeah.
I think to contribute to an expanding waistline, I'd like telekinesis, so I have to do as little movement as possible. Imagine what you could achieve. And if my mind could work enough, I could telekinetically play a whole string quartet while I play the cello.
Why wouldn't you just go for invisibility?
With all the ghostly haunted cello.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel if it comes with the lack of ability to wear clothes in winter.
I could do the invisibility and move the cello, because I don't think your telekinesis powers would be
Not fine-tuned enough.
It might take you a while just to.
Took a long time to learn with
hone
my
them.
actual hands, in fairness. What about you? Yeah, invisibility,
Yeah,
telekinesis.
yeah.
It would be quite the duo.
Invisibility.
I think my magical power would be being me. James knows me well, but the rest of you may be sensing a theme.
I forgot the question again.
Don't worry, James. So have I briefly, but there, an inkling of the question.
Oh,
Look, I used the name.
that's the last time that'll happen.
But no, seriously, no, it's gone. Now, if you did have a magic power, like a superhero, for example, perhaps when you entered a new scene or had a new film, you'd have your own theme music. Now, gentlemen,
I know
What
you're already here, but if you were to enter again, what music would you like to play
I'm intrigued.
as you entered?
Entrance music, like in boxing, like where they get something blaring over the
Yeah,
loudspeakers.
you know,
to
like
come in.
we're in wrestling or something.
I would go for something classical, I think.
Yes,
It
I
would
want
be
something really pompous and
Toccata
classical.
Fugue or Ride of the Valkyries or something.
Boccherini in E minor, that string quartet. It'd be very civil.
Every
wouldn't
time
it?
you enter an
Civilised.
elevator. Yeah.
The girl from Ipanema.
Where's my arm gone?
Oh no! What's happened?
happening?
What have you done,
I
Sebastian?
don't know. What have I done?
Oh, is that? I think we're free.
I think we're okay.
Sorry, I wasn't
We'll
listening
give
to
it a
their
£1 million,
answer.
it's
What-
fine.
Yes.
Ah,
Let's do that bit again.
yes. As I don't know. Boccherini in E minor. I think it might be just a tad pompous. There we go. I like the Dance of the Nights. I'm a big fan of Alan Sugar,
I think I
who
just have.
composed that very famous piece.
I just have white noise.
Oh my. But in a really awful segue, if one was Alan Sugar and could just drop spare change to the sum of 1 million at will and you were to pick it up, what would you do with that sum of cash?
Good question.
I know.
How many cellos can I get with £1 million?
Million?
I'm a hoarder of instruments. I love instruments.
There was that lovely recording studio for sale in Cornwall.
Yeah,
In
on the
middle
side
of
of
a
it,
wood.
you could only get to it from the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd live there. But I,
think we'd
don't
put-
think $1 million would
I
quite
think
do
we'd
it.
have to pool our money.
If we both won $1 million, we might just get there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it.
That would be the dream.
Definitely.
Long way to go to the shops, but yeah.
Not 1 million lotto tickets.
Might lose out.
I think that actually sounds very antisocial, really.
It's
They
super.
want to be hermits.
I don't understand.
I would say that kind of answer really grinds my gears.
Oh, does it? Let's ask them. What grinds your gears? That's a good question. I just came up with that.
Good, I like it.
Oh, could say so many things.
What was the one the other day where, people misusing the word myth? People, when they mean lie or something.
Put my hand up for that. I do it sometimes, which is really bad because I've read all the folklore degree reading lists and everything. I should be much better at that.
Yeah, essentially, a myth is something that has like cultural meaning. It has a purpose in
Yeah.
culture to support people through
Kind of a fably, ancient fable kind of thing going on there.
like a rite of passage or a story to help somebody through retirement. Or
But then you can go down the road and buy a McChicken Legend.
yeah, this is true.
I mean, is that appropriate or not?
Different thing, not quite the same.
And if I say something's epic, am I really telling you that it was very long?
I
Extremely
don't
long.
mind that.
It's just
I
as
think that's
epic.
quite a good adjective, actually. That was epic.
We are epic, aren't
I
we?
think I'm at least 30 verses long.
Blimey. So, along our long lifespans, we've received many pieces of advice.
Many.
Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it
From James.
from me. most of it bad. What's some piece of good advice that you've received, or would like to impart?
Very wise.
Oh, the best piece of advice I think I've received, certainly in a musical context, was from one of my teachers. And they sat down, they did that thing where they say, none of you will ever listen to this advice first years, but if you did, you'd be, get to the third year and you'd be incredible musicians. And I just followed everything. They gave us rehearsal plans and all sorts of things in this neat little pack and said, stick to that. 20 minutes a day and you'll be off on your way.
Mine would be something similar, actually. Something like you're never too old to start doing something that you want to.
Nope.
I've recently started playing the violin. I think it's recommended that you start as early as possible, but, if you enjoy it, go for it.
It's a bit like you've had it downloaded from the Matrix with the speed with which you've taken it up, but yeah.
I wish.
Well, that's just what I wanted to hear.
Exactly.
I've always wanted to take up the tuba.
Oh, not the bassoon.
I thought about it.
Well, don't. It's copyrighted.
Oh dear.
But that brings us to the end of our chat. And it's for us to say thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for coming and being a part of whatever this is.
I do, yes. But now, I'd like to make a little request, James, of the lads. Would you please take your places on this stage? But it's been so lovely having you.
Indeed, thank you very much for taking part.
Oh, I've been so pleased.
It's good to have somebody else to talk to.
Yes.
So we are back for our second set.
Thank you very much, James and Sebastian.
It was an enlightening experience, that one. We're going to crack straight on with another track from the EP. Again, you can get a copy for yourself, or you can download the digital version from our Bandcamp page. But if you go through our website, you'll find everything you need there to get hold of it.
majesty. If we continue to delay, she'll see. She'll wash humanity away. Long live age's Her Majesty, the raging sea. Her Majesty, the raging sea. Her Majesty, the raging sea. Her Majesty, the raging
So that was a modern sea shanty that we've made, a song of two halves, I like to think.
All about the amazing resource that the ocean really is, all the seas, and a reminder to be mindful of how we treat it, because it is an important resource, and we run the risk of slowly poisoning it and therefore ourselves.
Indeed. So that was one off the EP. We're going to continue with another new one.
Yes.
We like to tease you a little bit. This one's a bit more personal. This one's it's called Sleeping Giant, and it's I guess it's about mental health and to spread awareness where you can and talk about issues.
Yeah.
This is brand new, Sleeping Giant.
My faith is a wounded mouse, small and lost and blind. My hope a little jaded, squashed and undermined. My grief is a wounded stag in the early morning mist. My madness lies in waiting deep beneath the ground, deep beneath the ground. And the attic has a hidden room, far from prying eyes, and in its failing memory a hole has grown inside, and there a nest of birds will shelter from the wind, and they resemble my desire to fade away from sight, to fade away from sight. The truth is a sleeping giant in amongst the hay. Every
free at last. I'll be free at last. I'll be free at last.
Sleeping Giant.
Sort of, yeah, a bit of an ode to mental health awareness and just being prepared to have those conversations sometimes.
Interesting tidbit as well. I only realised recently, after writing the song, that posthumously it was probably about my dear cat that passed
Oh.
away. So
He used to greet us at the end of the road when we were coming home.
I can dedicate that one to Monty.
Now, from there, we're going on to another EP track. And this one's from your home, or your county of birth. You're a Cornish lad, really. And entitled, is it not right to dance the flower dance of all things?
The Flora Dance in Helston, yeah.
the one.
I spent some of my formative years in a little town in deepest, darkest Cornwall called Helston. And in that part of the country, there are many, many myths and legends and bits of folklore about a pale white horse with a lone rider outrunning a wave. It's on the front of lots of book covers and all sorts. And that alludes to a story about a great flood many thousands of years ago that completely decimated a whole nother county to the west of Cornwall, which was on the lowlands. It's very important for trade and things like that. In all the William the Chronicler wrote about it and all sorts. So we thought that was fertile ground, really, for writing a song about. So this is The Legend of Lioness.
From under the feet of those who stayed, and a wall of to outrun the immortal white horses crashing around our heels, as the lowlands were lost to the might of the sea, forevermore concealed. One by one the riders fell into the raging sea. Alone I rode on hard and fast to save our legacy. When all is lost and veiled in blue beneath the ocean waves, I wrote to you, and fallen away. With mercy and with malice I would counsel you this day. Nature has the final word, and we might learn one day.
That was The Legend of Lioness.
Yes, a reminder that, I mean, if you go there, you can actually see the remains of forests out under the low tide line. And yeah, a reminder that nature is a very powerful thing. These myths and legends survive for a reason, as a warning sometimes.
So thank you again to everybody for tuning in for our EP launch, which under different circumstances would have perhaps looked a little different.
Slightly.
But
It's
yeah,
nice to be able to have this medium to do it, though, and we're pleased that
definitely.
you've been able to share some of these tracks with us, hearing them live, because I know a lot of people have bought some of the albums, the EPs online, and that's fantastic. But we haven't had a chance to play in front of everyone yet, because sadly our tour was sort of cut in half by the COVID situation. But we have to say a massive thank you for arranging all of this to our manager, Joe, who has
indeed, thank you, Joe.
who's been filming and helped us with the lighting and the sound and everything else.
And thank you to the lovely venue as well.
Yes, very lucky to be here.
And to James and Sebastian, of course.
Absolutely competent interviewers.
We're going to leave you with one more track. It's a new track, this one. It's
Yes.
a bit of a farewell and Vanish into the Night song.
It's about creeping into twilight and all of the little creatures and things that come out at that time of night. And as well, we thought it was fitting because this is still, even now, I would imagine, a bit of a limbo. And we're creeping out of lockdown and testing the waters, trying to figure out how to do this in this new environment, and hoping that we get back to having you literally in front of us and with us for these concerts.
So thank you again for coming. Everyone stay safe. And this is Vespers.
The twilight wears sweet jasmine perfume as the bat hunts the moth, and the moth hunts the moon. The hawk and the owl sing their vespers at dusk. All at the edge of the night. All at the edge of the night.
the cover of changing light. A spectre advances, an unending flight, caught between worlds and never to rest. All at the edge of the night. All at the edge of the Take care on your way and watch as you go. This place between ours is not yours to know. Pass by the